Fastest way between 2 points is a straight line. Let's go.
Russia overnight launched its long-anticipated attack on Ukraine.
They've jammed the door. Mike, I'm in trouble. We need your help.
Riley!
They stormed the orphanage.
His name is Stanislav Koniev. He's got quite a reputation.
I need a way into Kyiv, now. My niece. Me and her dad, we've been in the teams together since buds. She's all I got left. You find me a tour guide yet?
What's up, man? Come on, baby, get in. What's up, first time in Kyiv?
Yeah.
Take what you want.
We're headed to Kharkiv.
The battle lines run down the entire valley.
And I don't got a choice.
Let's go!
I'll do anything that needs to be done to get to Riley.
Anyone seen not in Ukrainian uniforms will be shot on sight. This is what's left. Simple people. We're trying to live their lives, trying to survive.
War is a monster.
Then why you make it your life? All right, lights on me.
This is about to get ugly.
What's going on, Action Fanatics? This is John Jerva, and you are watching the Action-FLIX with John Jerva. That's me. Yes, I put my name in the title because I damn well deserve it after all the years that I've been doing this. So I got a special podcast for you guys today. So exclusive interview. I've talked to this man before in the past. I've dubbed him as there's only a few select action filmmakers that I dub Action Maestro. And this gentleman definitely has the right, the honor, the privilege to be called one of those. Of course, he'll be humble and say, no. But I'm going to throw all the accolades at him that I can, because I've been with this man since pretty much the beginning of my website. And it was a little movie called Daylight's End that kind of, like, I hooked up with them, and the cast and everybody was amazing and everything. And from that day on, they kind of put me on the map because everybody started to take notice to my website and everything. Well, he has a movie coming up, another movie coming out called Man of War. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the poster for it real quick. So hang on one second, and I'm going to get you guys all situated here. So if you know this gentleman, this is LaMonica Garrett. He's been in numerous things. Actually, he was also in Osiris, which this gentleman directed. It was one of my best pictures action films of the year that year. So he has a new movie called Man of War. LaMonica Garrett, as you all know, he's from Lioness, so he's on that TV show as well. He's kicking ass, taking names. This is pretty much his. I'm gonna ask him when I bring him on, but I think this is his first time headlining a big time action movie. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring in writer, director, producer, filmmaker, Action Maestro, William Kaufman. William, how you doing today?
Hey, John, great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for having me. Like I said, I mentioned it during my intro. You guys kind of put me on the map because when Daylight's End came out, like I had just I was doing my website, but it was like non-existent. And I did the review and everything, and you guys like contacted me and everything, and you kind of put me on the map. So I owe you as you know, back and forth. So thank you very much, my friend.
Oh no, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we got a big week coming up. You have a new movie. I've flashed the poster here, Man of War. Now, here's what I like, okay? And I kind of hate talking about a movie that's not out yet because we can't really get into the nitty gritty or anything. I mean, we can talk about it.
I'll just have to come back. I'll just have to come back, John. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I will take that. All right. So we talked last for Osiris, and actually you were able to get Linz Edwards, who's also in this movie. We all got to chat about Osiris. Now that was a kick-ass movie, my friend. you're known for the gritty, stripped down, grounded, brutal crime type thrillers and everything. So that was a big time sci-fi actioner. So talk about now that movie's been out for a little bit, before we get into Man of War, talk about Osiris and, and how that's been received since it's come out.
Actually, really well. I mean, I jumped at the chance to do it. It's like I'm a little bit of a sci-fi nerd, and,
Yes.
so yeah, I was super stoked. So it's done well, and that was one of the most fun I've ever had making a movie. Such an amazing cast. So we're a real family of filmmakers. It was great.
Absolutely. So you had Max Martini, who I also got a chance. I got to interview him for your movie, The Channel. So that was pretty cool. Yep. And of course, you got Sarah Connor herself, Linda Hamilton. So we all talked about that. But let's talk about the new movie that you got coming out. All right. So Man of War. So this is a big time, back to reality, grounded, ripped from today's headlines, if I might add, battle story of a former Navy SEAL who, has since, he suffers from PTSD, I'm pretty sure, and has his issues and everything, but certain things happen, and now he has to deploy beast mode, as I had insinuated in my trailer release. So let's talk about the inception of this movie and going from the sci-fi of Osiris back to the grounded reality of an action military film like Man of War.
Well, I mean, it was this is the kind of movie that's the most me, right? Mm-hmm. So I got this. My writing partner came to me with this idea, and it was actually set in a different conflict. It was a lot more of a sensitive topic. Mm-hmm. It was based on a true story, and it sounded fascinating. And then I later found out that was a similar situation, true story, about some people going in Ukrainians, and and so it just seemed like a great fit. And I've done that. That was my third film there, so I had an amazing, and we shot it in Bulgaria, an amazing team, and it just was like a perfect match.
So, and I'm going to show some pictures too. So these are legit, like images that were released from the film. So let's talk about LaMonica Garrett. Obviously, you've worked with him in the past. He's been making a name for himself. Obviously, he's on Lioness, which is a big time Paramount Plus hit TV show, which I'm a big fan of. So talk about this guy. Boy, I'll tell you what. Like, if I had to compare this man, like if so basically it's like if the late great Steve James, from the American Ninja movies and those glory candidates, and Denzel Washington, if you fuse those two guys together, you get LaMonica Garrett. So let's talk about having him in this role. Now, of course, he was in Osiris, a smaller role, but this time he's front and center, he's spotlight. So talk about having him take the spotlight and carrying the movie basically.
Yeah, he did, absolutely, and he crushed it. He was cast. He was just perfect for it. We had worked with him on Osiris, like I said, but I'd been a fan of his since I saw him in 1883, and he did 1883. He's done The Terminal List. He's done a little of everything, and he's in everything. But like you said, typically his role is, a strong supporting role, kind of like what he did in Osiris. Yep. And so, I mean, when I went to him to ask him to play the lead, he jumped at the chance. He said he hadn't got those opportunities before. This was his first time out, and I could not be happier. I think he was the perfect fit because he looks like Rambo, but he has the acting chops, the emotional depth of one of the finest actors I've worked with. So.
Absolutely. So again, like you were talking a little bit about the plot and everything. So obviously, this is like the Ukraine situation and everything. So he has an adoptive daughter, correct? So that's it. And she gets kidnapped by this guy. And we'll talk about him a little bit more of Mr. Daniel Bernhardt later. But so she gets kidnapped. Bad shit happens, and then now he has to go out and polish off his beast mode again, or deploy his beast mode again. So talk about in terms of because it's kind of tricky, like you were saying before, just a couple minutes ago, when you got true to life events and you're making a fictional movie. So, and of course, people are going to compare this to Taken. Oh, he's going after his daughter,
Right?
You know, but seriously, this was like, I'm a big fan of Taken. I'm a big fan of
Taken created a genre. Right?
Yes, it's its own subgenre. Yes, go ahead.
The number of fathers rescuing their kidnapped daughters. So,
yes,
I could push past that because I did see this, and I think we have a very original take.
Yep.
And beyond the fact that it's a dad trying to rescue someone he loves, that's about as close as we get. Well, yes, and they're both badasses. So,
yes.
But I think, you know, for me was knowing that there were similar instances that have done this, and I worked with several Ukrainian actors who were refugees from the war. Mm-hmm. So I mean, the war is the setting, but the story is about the people, right? The people trapped in the middle. There's, you know, we're not trying to make a statement, and both sides we see ugliness in it. We're really focused on what one man will do for someone he loves. And the people trapped in the middle of all that.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this out here for a second. A wise man recently said, "I miss when action felt physical, not weightless, CGI, not invincible superheroes, sweaty, messy, exhausted, dangerous, terrifying. Every hit, every reload, every terrible decision, you feel all of it. That's the real stuff." Who said that?
Oh, that was me.
Yes, it was. Okay. When I read that quote from you, I could not have said it better. And you know, we've talked in the past. Right. I'm a huge product of the 80s and the 90s, and you know, and I'm not taking away from, like, you know, action films, and you know, like, because John Wick, you know, them, you know, Chad Stahelski, all
the
those
Extractions, Hargrave and Stahelski. I mean, they've just changed. They've upped it again, right?
Yes.
My thing is very different than what they do, and they are amazing at what they do. And you know, I've loved those movies. So,
right. So, and here's the thing, because again, people haven't really, you know, aside from us that, you know, are doing press for it, haven't seen the movie. But I titled this interview "Kinetic Warfare." You know, the William Kaufman.
I like that. I'll dig that.
You like that? Yeah. Okay. Because as I'm watching this movie, and you know, I'm a big time action guy, and I love military combat, and I love the style that you do. That's what I thought of. That's the one word that was in my mind the whole time watching this, was the word kinetic. And we all know constant motion, you know, flow, you know, and it's like, it starts from the get-go and it never lets up. And it's like, every set piece is spectacular. You got outdoors, you're on the streets, you're in corridors, CQB. I mean, so that was the one word I thought of. So talk a little bit about how you encompass and did the action in this movie as opposed to other movies.
Well, I mean, I have a style. I have my thing, which is what I do. So, and that goal is to immerse the audience as deeply as I can in the middle of the gunfight, rather than being a spectator, right? So, so that there's action, there's consequences with action, right?
Absolutely.
Consequences with violence, and I think that's kind of my touchstone that keeps me heading back that way. And so, as long as everything feels as authentic, it's still a movie. Right, it's still a movie.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Like I was like, oh, I don't think there's enough. I'm not showing off enough of the mag changes. Like, okay, people get it. We saw a mag change off camera. Will get over it. I just really want things to be as authentic as we can, and the actors and the attack advisors and stunt team worked really, really hard. And so I think it's, and you know, I had a couple of really amazing operators. My DP Mark Rutledge, who's I've dragged him through every gutter there is.
Yes.
And Stephen Rennie, who's is a hell of a filmmaker himself, and you know, when we do crazy things, we do. It was a really interesting, because we started to do a few things differently. Longer oneers, but not oneers for the sake of trying to emulate like Hargrave, who is the master, right? It was about the longer a shot can live, as long as it's still dynamic and telling a story. The the more the audience can invest in the fact that that hero is doing that thing, right? So we will always cut if we feel like we're, you know, it's becoming, oh, we're trying to keep a oneer, which that is not the goal.
Right. So and like when because there's like the military movies of the past, like in the early 90s, like there was a lot of these like direct to video military movies. If you watch them today, and like if authentic military guys watch these movies, they would just rip it to shreds. But for whatever reason, they have a special place in my heart as I was growing up and everything. But that's what I love about your team, you as a filmmaker, and everybody that you put together, because I mean, at the same time, yes, you got to have your plot. Yes, you got to care about the characters. But listen, nobody's not going to go see Man of War expecting a musical. They're going to go. It's all about the action, and that's why it's like, because you're opening to Osiris. And I talked about this when we talked for that movie. Your opening for Osiris could have been other films' finales. You know what I'm saying? So when you open with a sequence that is worthy enough to be the finale of a movie, you know you're going to be in for a good time. And it's just how you situate it. And I don't want to call it like a first person type of thing, but that's also how I feel. It's like when because you like how the camera moves and how you shoot things and how you're able to capture things. It's like that it's immersive, it's visceral. You're in there with these guys and everything, and that's what I love about it. So talk just a little bit about, like what was, okay, let me ask you this. What was one of the hardest sequences to do in this movie? Because it looked like all of them were pretty difficult.
There were a lot of hard ones. I would say with the most moving pieces in the tightest amount of time frame would be the finale.
Yep.
When a character hits the street up until the finale of the film. And because we really only had like 2.5 days to do that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And so it was an insane run to get that done. And it was just, there were so many, I mean, we had 30 stuntmen on one side and we had a cast of 9 on the other side. So it was just a big undertaking. I would say that the one of the roughest environments would have been the mountain in the forest. Mm-hmm. Because I mean that was it was like a timber farm. Yeah. And so there were, and it was on, kind of on, nothing was even, everything was trying to twist your ankle or throw you down the mountain. So lots of bumps and bruises, but we got through it.
Right. So okay, now let's talk about, because now of course he's not a one-man army. I mean, he kind of is a one-man army, but you assemble a badass legion of heroes behind this guy. And of course, Andrew Howard, who's kind of, here's the thing I thought of when he plays Danny, Andrew Howard. Like, I love this character because if you remember, like back in the day, like in the canon movies and stuff, every time when Michael Dudikoff gets off the plane, there's always this taxi cab driver that pulls up. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "That's this guy." But there's so much more to him. So let's talk about what he brought to the table.
Yeah, in those old movies, that guy showed up and then he died pretty quickly. Right. Yeah,
or he betrayed the hero, or like something would happen and something like that. Yeah. So talk about how he's totally different in this movie. He does a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I think I look at him as the heart of the movie. Mm-hmm. And it's funny to say that some ex-fixer guy is the heart, but he's going on this adventure. He's essentially and he's called the tour guide, LaMonica's tour guide.
Right.
And so he's there trying to get his wife and children passage out of Ukraine. And so, I mean, for me, he ends up really being the co-lead of the movie. So he's that's from, the way I see it. And that I'd been dying for the chance to work with Andrew. And this was just an amazing kind of a bunch of things aligning at the same time.
Absolutely. Like I said, phenomenal performance. And of course, if you're a genre fan, if you're a fan of any type of like genre films, like sci-fi horror, of course you have Jason Patrick, who you've already worked with before in the past on a little film called Shrapnel. Once again, chef's kiss on that one too. Him and Cam Gigande killed that one. So talk about bringing Jason Patrick, and we all know, yes, he was in The Lost Boys, of course, done so many things. He was on Heroes and all that good stuff. But he's the guy that's behind the scenes that kind of like, helps LaMonica's character throughout everything. So talk about getting Jason Patric involved, and he shows up in a scene. It's just elevated. So talk about Jason.
Well, that's what I told him.
Yeah.
So when I made the call to ask him to do the movie, he's like, "You don't need me. You know."
Yes.
For this character to be elevated, it needs everyone to see you playing it, and so he came on really as a personal favor to me, and he flew out to Bulgaria for like 3 days, and he's throughout the movie. It's not like he's a guy who shows up for a scene and leaves. It's not a cameo.
Right.
He truly is a fixture in the movie that we keep coming back to, that is helping our character make his way through this war zone. And but Jason and I had worked together on Shrapnel, and we had a great experience. We became like legit friends on it, and I asked him to do the movie, and he said yes. So this is pretty good.
And it's funny that you say 3 days, because I always think that they were there longer, but it's like, right, what you got out of him for those 3 days, that's phenomenal, because like you said, it's not just this extended cameo. He's in the movie. Now, obviously, he's in a different, area of the world and everything, but he's so instrumental, and it's basically his character is what helps make this all work and click in the very end. So let's talk about Rosemary Yaneva. Am I pronouncing her name?
Yaneva.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, heart of the story. She's obvious, but at the same time, I like how you make it. It's not just a damsel in distress. Obviously, she's kidnapped. Obviously, she's going through some bad shit. But you make her have her moments too. So talk about her performance, and because that's what ties everything together. Because without her getting kidnapped, like, we don't have a movie. But she brings more to that.
Right. Well, Rosemary, we wanted a strong character, and I met Rosemary. She auditioned, and we went through a wide casting call on that role. And the thing about Rosemary is she's Strasbourg trained. She is, and she's a former pro athlete. A tennis player, on a national level, and she was, and the thing is, she's tough as nails. Like her, mm-hmm. you see this, petite, beautiful young woman, and the fact is that she hung in there with those boys like as well as anyone could. So she was perfect.
Absolutely. Now I got a shot here, because we don't have, I don't have shots of the other. Of course, like I said, we have Lynn's Edwards and one of my favorites, Greg Burridge, who I'm a big fan of. I've always wanted to talk to him too. So talk about Lynn's, and again, what he's bringing to the table and everything.
Well, Lynn's, it's no secret. He's my rock.
Yep.
I'll come back to Lynn's as often as I can get him to agree to do a movie.
Right.
He's literally a chameleon. He's fantastic, and a great human. And that's getting to work with people that you respect and love their talent, and then get to really think highly as a human is a special thing as a director. And so I wrote this role for Lynn's. And he had played the crazy hillbilly Nash in Osiris.
Yes.
And we wanted to do something different, and so we did, and he totally elevated what I put on the page.
Okay, so we've talked about pretty much everybody, but like I said, this guy. And I've talked to him a couple times. I've been a fan of his for years. Of course, we all know Daniel Bernhardt, the Bloodsport movies. He took over for Van Damme. Probably, and again, this is a hot take. People get mad at me, but I think his Bloodsport 2 is better than the actual first Bloodsport. But I'm
going to stay out of the way on that one. That's all you, bro. Daniel's my boy. So, but
yeah, I take so much shit for that. But it's like, the fights were so much better. I'm sorry. Van Damme looked great in the first one, but they did, their choreography was so much hardcore in that movie. But anyway, let's get back to Man of War. Yeah. Daniel Bernhardt. So talk about about bringing him on board. I recently interviewed him for Deathstalker, and actually I got Daniel on. I wore this
That's
because
awesome.
I knew I got a Daniel Bernhardt shirt I could wear. So I was like, it kind of relates. So talk about how bringing him in, and of course he plays the big bad guy, and the big bad Russian. But so he plays heroes, but he's so good as the bad guy. And of course, him and LaMonica tussle, which I knew because you see it a little bit in the trailer and everything. But
Right.
talk about Daniel and the consummate professional that he is.
Well, I mean, Daniel, again, he's playing like probably the worst monster of a villain I've ever put on screen.
Yeah, he's a douchebag. You could say, yeah, he's
and he's wonderful to watch.
Yes.
So yeah, he's so much fun. And as you know, because you know Daniel,
yep,
he's also a really sweet guy.
Oh,
so
the
I
best.
think he enjoyed getting to be really, really bad. And
yes,
he relished it. And we really needed, because look at LaMonica, we needed a physical equal.
mm-hmm.
And my stunt coordinator, second unit director, and one of my Bulgarian producers, Stanismir, legendary stunt coordinator, got a Taurus Award for Extraction 2. I mean, he and Daniel were buddies. Okay?
Right.
And they've done several movies together. And Stani made that call. And then I got on the phone with Daniel, and we hit it off. He'd seen the channel and said he was a fan, right? And so then I sent him the script, and I said, but I got to have you read it immediately. We're going to camera in a week. And he was just wrapping up Nobody 2
Mm-hmm.
and production on it. So that was kind of this moment where we hit it off. He loved the script, and the only thing he had pause over was I had him, as it was written, it was going to be most of his part originally was going to be in Russian. I had no idea that I would be able to land Daniel in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a private military contractor from a really nefarious PMC.
Yep.
And so he's not just this mustache twirling bad guy. He's a serial killer. And Daniel, he was hesitant about the language, and so we came up with this bit where anytime he's dealing with his men, he's speaking in Russian, or whatever their native language is, and then when he wants private conversations with his number 2, he does that in English, which was
Mm-hmm.
most of his conversations. So that ended up really working, and I think if you're gonna have Daniel in your movie, you don't want to subtitle him the whole way either, right?
No.
So,
That's true. Yes. So of course, again, I'm not spoiling anything because you do see them tussle in the trailer. So they do get this showdown, and here's the thing: a lot of times, in today's society, in terms of martial arts movie, there's the extreme stuff. There's the gravity defying stuff, and this is just pummel into submission, beat your ass. There's knives involved. There's all bladed weaponry, all kinds of cool shit. So talk about having those two take each other on, and just did you just was it just a treat to watch these guys just square off?
it was, and again, I started to go there, but the fact that we'd been building towards this fight for the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
And so LaMonica, again, needing a real equal, they're about the same size.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to work on this fight together for, I think, about a week.
Okay.
And so anyway, so we actually, that was to rehearse. We had a day to shoot it,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to get another half day because, it just took longer to do it right. And we basically went into that with I want everything to look messy and ugly and brutal. And my choreographer, Ratza, was like, "Are you sure you know what you're asking for?" And and so that's what we did, and it was a blast, man. It was and LaMonica has said out loud, I mean, that Daniel was instrumental to help him because he had never done a fight like that, and just give him tips and help him through the process. And LaMonica did awesome, and I think it's a really good fight. I'm really happy with it.
And listen, absolutely, and I've been decades of watching these types of movies, and like you know these guys are going to throw down, and then I can't tell you how many times in a movie, and then it's like disappointment. You're just like, but no, this was a chef's kiss. I like we're using that term because like it's just. Nice. And I think that these types of fights, are harder to choreograph and film than like, the extreme stuff. Because like, if a guy's in the air doing, granted it's hard, but like the intricate moves, the grappling, the hooks, the joint manipulations, and that type of stuff, that's what really sells it. Because that's, I think, as a martial artist, with over 30 years experience, that's what makes it harder, is because it's so intricate in the movements, correct?
Yeah, and I think, like you watch a real fight.
Yes.
It's not a your turn, my turn thing. And it's sloppy. People get hit as they're trying to hit, and even like really skilled fighters. That's what I said is like, I want you to take this approach as if these are two really skilled fighters having the worst street fight you can imagine, right?
Right.
To the death. And I think, the jumping, spinning, flying kicks, all the aerial stuff is amazing. It's fun. It's it's not what I do, but there's a crazy big audience that loves that, and that's what they want. And now there's kind of a like you go into the John Wick world where judo's leading the charge because you can do long oneers and not fake hits. So. Yeah, it's things are changing and they stay the same and they get reinvented, and we're just trying to do our thing.
And I'm glad you pointed that out because, like I said, I'm 53 years old. I've been watching movies like these since I was like 5. Like my dad let me watch Loma McQuaid with Chuck Norris. That was pretty much my
The Octagon.
Yeah, that was next. Trust me, but it was Lone Wolf McQuaid. I'll never forget. It was on HBO, and it premiered on HBO back in the day when cable was a thing. And he let me watch it. And actually, that movie probably could have been that movie would be R-rated today. It's hilarious how it's PG rated, but
right.
So. And I was actually talking to Eric Jacobus, who's a big time,
indie filmmaker. I know Eric. He's a star. He's great.
Yes, and I interviewed him just a couple days ago, and I'm going to be putting that out. But we were talking about the evolution of fighting on film because, like, you've seen so much of it. There's been so much. How do you keep it fresh? How do you do things that the audience is going to be like, oh, and then sell them on it and pull them in? So it's got to be hard, no? Like to like, hey, let's do this, but what can we do that's different that audiences haven't seen before, right?
Yeah, and I think it's also, it's like, in New Orleans, you make a gumbo, right? Yeah. Everyone's gumbo is different, it's we can all start with the same ingredients and what we use and what comes out the other end is two different things. And so I think that just like I don't think anyone can truly copy Hargrave or Sikowski is like, I think that people can emulate it and they can, but that's like, I can't chase someone else. I mean, I've been to the Michael Mann School of Bank Robbery, so I definitely have let it influence me, but I kind of think, okay, this is what I'm really responding to, and I'm going to try it, and my audience have seemed to respond to it as well.
Absolutely. So now I'm going to share this. Like, I'm going to play a little bit of the trailer here because, and I want to do a little obviously we're not going to give anything away because this stuff's in the trailer. So, but I just kind of want to go through some points here. So I'm going to mute it just a little bit. So this is what I'm talking about. So like the style of action that's in this and the way it's shot, because again, I'd also talking to Eric the other day, we were talking about shaky cam and action sequences that you can't tell what the hell's going on and stuff like that. So what's the fine line between making it chaotic and kinetic, but also at the same time making sure that people can see what the hell's going on in their movie?
Well, I think that for me, as I love what happens with handheld. I find it really immersive. Yeah. But there would be times where so I'll do a lot of the movie that will be handheld. This movie's almost all handheld.
Okay.
And then I will literally, all you have to do is tell your operator, try not to let it move, try not to let it shake, and they will naturally have a little float. And that so I think it's a matter of there are some handheld fight scenes in a very big franchise that is way too much for me, right? It's so shaky and so close, you can't see anything. So unless you have geography to figure things out, and so you can't. That I think it's there's things like, I think what you can do is you can run and you can pull an actor and you can run it and do it with a gimbal, right? Yeah. And then to match my handheld style, I can give that gimbal a little float, where it doesn't. Absolutely. It's not blinding. I mean, in the channel we have a chase through a house that I almost literally broke my operator. So, right. And that's probably too much. It worked for me at the end of the day because it was so frenetic and there was no other option. And that, so, but I mean, it's up to everyone's own taste.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about getting it right tactically, because I kind of mentioned back in the 90s when direct-to-video and like they were making military movies and like it was like, if you watch it now, it's horrendous. So talk about the team that you have in terms of like how they operate. Like you could tell even just from watching the trailer how they navigate corridors, how they come around corners, that type of stuff. So talk about getting it right tactically and, you know, to honor the men and women that actually do this for a living and put their lives on the line.
Right. I think you just hit it, is trying to honor the people that do it for real, right?
Yep.
And so my producers are awesome, Andrew and Isaac Lewis. They make sure that we find a way to budget an attack advisor. We did it on this film, you know, so Max Krause, who's also in the movie, he plays Ringo, one of the mercenaries.
Yep.
And he's awesome, and we put the actors through, you know, Gunfighter 101, and a lot of these actors like Lindsay had weeks of it on Osiris, LaMonica as well, and LaMonica's got probably months if you consider all of his Lioness time of training with tier 1 operators. So right. I think it's just about, I think if there's anything, it's like going back to going with my attack operators going, hey, I understand we want to be as legit as possible, but I'm still trying to maintain a tempo for it's a movie. So, you know, let me try and justify him not being quite as safe doing this clearing of these hallways because he's on a mission to get to his daughter, right?
Yes.
And so he's making an emotional decision that is outweighing what's the smartest thing to do. But at the same point, as I don't have high-speed operators like Bunny and his team flagging each other with
right.
So, and Max was phenomenal because Max sat at Video Village, which doesn't always happen, and he's doing frame grabs of the shot and telling me, hey, he had his trigger in the trigger guard here. He shouldn't have, or they're so programmed to not have their fingers in the trigger guard that it wasn't in, right?
Right.
So when it should have been, and so it's just to have someone who's that invested in trying to do it right is really cool.
Now let's talk about the weaponry, because I always love, like, you know, what also makes a military action movie click and work is the weaponry involved. Now talk about how you assemble, like, because the gun, like, obviously this is like a version of the AK-47, but it's like a beast. Like, just talk about the weapons that you use and how do you come apart. Like, obviously it's going to be realistic to like what they're using in this, because it's based right. in reality. But talk about how you choose to, like, you know, pick what weapons you're going to use.
Well, I'm a as anyone who knows me well, I'm a gun nerd, right?
Yes.
And so, and this is a heavy Kalishnikov eccentric, AK eccentric movie, just because of the setting. So knowing that, I wanted to have, there's so many variants of the
Yes,
AK.
absolutely.
I wanted to make sure that kind of LaMonica's fit him, you know, that it was naturally, okay, that's perfect. And same with Danny. Danny's using a little crank, very similar to one that Daniel's using, which is kind of the more cutting edge one. And then the only place that we have our RPKs, we have all kinds of cool stuff. The only place we get outside of that is Bunny and his motley crew of commandos. So
Yeah.
and that was a chance to show off, you know, things like the Scar and some different variants of the M4 and the belt fed machine gun, the 248. And, so I find it's a lot of good fun.
But I just like how he has this, like, because he's the hero. He's the damaged hero, but he's still the hero. But I like how you picked this because it stands out. It just like everybody's like, you go, soldiers are using regular AKs, but like, no, he's got to have something different, and that's the attention to detail that you go for, and that's what also makes these movies like legit and badass, you know. So that's why I love the precision detail that you put in these movies. So
thank you, man.
That's all.
Yeah,
absolutely. So real quick, I know you're a busy man. You're going to be you're going to be promoting the movie. So good luck with all that. So obviously this comes out July 3rd, which is next Friday. So the day before the 4th of July. I just wanted to read. So obviously I kind of like, I laugh sometimes because I do like trailer reactions. Like when a trailer comes out, I'll put a review to the trailer. Like, was this a good trailer? Was this did it serve its purpose? Did it do what, you wanted it to do in terms of making somebody want to see this movie? Now, this is what I wrote for the trailer. I said, Man of War looks to be a bullet-riddled chef's kiss with LaMonica Garrett proving that he has more than what it takes and headlining a chest-thumping, crowd-pleasing, action-heavy film. This trailer is...
Come on.
That's
what I'm talking about.
This trailer is locked and loaded literally with some of the best firepower infused sequences I've seen in a long time, and it looks nonstop with a pedal to the metal, never give up aesthetic that will check all the boxes for hardcore fans looking for some serious military-style action sequences. That's the trailer. I'm just going to switch this around, and that's going to be in my review. I was like, it's already written. Like, the review's already written because it's like everybody's talking about The Furious, which, again, awesome movie.
Awesome
yes.
movie.
Listen, redefines martial arts action cinema. But like your movies like Man of War, obviously, like, and here's again, I'm going to throw more accolades at you because with what you're able to do, and again, Jesse V. Johnson, like I talked to him and he's like, yeah, I had a day. I love Jesse. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like you just said the same thing. Yeah, they rehearsed it, but then we had a day to do it. I talked to Scott Adkins. He's like, John, I would love to have 2 weeks to do a fight scene. He's like, I had 3 hours. I'm like, look great. But like how you guys are able to do so much with so little, that's why this shit kicks ass, is because, you're able to pull what you can from what you got. And that's why I give these, because a lot of times I take a lot of flack for my reviews and I'm like, listen, it's like if you knew what blood, sweat, and tears went into making this movie and how they were able to pull out of their ass what they were able to do, then you would get like one of the best action movies of the year. So like I said, everybody's talking about The Furious, and of course that's going to be on my list of best action movies of the year. This is going to tip this. I don't know where it's at, but you're definitely top 5 in my best action movies of 2020.
I'll take that.
It's not because I know you, and it's not people be like, oh, you're just blowing smoke up. No. Listen, if your movie sucks, I will be like, you know what? Not that great. Like I just went to see a certain movie this weekend that came out, by a certain other filmmaker with a person wearing a red cape that I was just like, I walked out of that movie and I was just like, oh no, because I never drive to a movie theater or I never put on my TV saying, I hope this movie sucks. I really do. I want to watch this movie for 2 hours and I hope it sucks. I never say that. So when I talk from my heart, it. So all I can tell people who haven't seen this movie yet is this movie kicks ass. And like your repertoire or your filmography speaks for itself. Let's talk real quick, and I'll let you go here. I know you're a busy man.
I do want to say one thing. If you've seen the trailer,
yes,
that is a fraction of the amount of action in this movie. So if the trailer looks intriguing to you, if you're a fan of the trailer, you're going to love this movie.
Absolutely. That's what I said. Like, because a lot of times, you watch a trailer and that's the movie. It's like, hey, I saw everything. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. There is so much more in this movie, and so much that people like. And if you're jonesing for a good military kick the snot out of bad people movie, this is it. Now let's talk about your production company, because you've been and I kind of put that into my one of my articles for Man of War. So talk a little bit about that and your mission statement for that.
Irish Channel Studios. That's my company here in the Irish Channel, New Orleans. And really what that is about is a home for people that, as I say on my site, I am unapologetically genre. It's like somehow, because I remember in film school people going, "Oh, you want to make those kind of movies," and I'm like, no, I want to make the movies that made me want to make movies. The things I grew up on, and so I want an outlet where people can make really high quality genre material and a place where people can come see those things. And I plan on I've got several scripts in development to shoot here in New Orleans, so I'm sure the channel will come back around. Not the sequel, but I'm just saying my neighborhood.
Yeah.
There's not a sequel. There won't be a sequel.
Right.
But and I've got an amazing editor Sarah Kaufman, my daughter. She edited Osiris. She edited this film. And she's an absolute rock star. So if you like what you see there, maybe give her a call.
Papa must be proud.
I'm incredibly proud. This next movie we wrote the movie where I leave for LA tomorrow.
Yep.
For the premiere on Tuesday, and then I come back on Friday, and then I leave for Bulgaria to do another movie with LaMonica, unrelated.
Oh, okay.
On July 7th. So coming fast.
All right. Well, with that, I mean, listen, I can only try to hype this movie up the best I can, like I said. And people know me, people know the type of reviewer I am. And the best compliment I can give you, and I've given you a lot in this past chat, but it's when you watch a movie and it's over and it ends and the credits start rolling and you just want to watch it again. That's the best compliment I could give you. Because as soon as this movie ended, I'm like, let's go back. But I didn't have time. I had to go to work because I watched it before I went to work one morning. And you'll be happy to know that not only do I review movies here, and of course I get screeners, I pre-ordered it on Fandango at home. So
thank you.
It's already in my pre-order. I would show it to you, but I don't have it up. But I swear to God, I pre-ordered it 2 weeks ago. Like as soon as it popped up on my Fandango at home, it's on there. So I support just as much, because sometimes people say, "Oh, you get the screeners." So I'm like, no. If I love the movie, I buy the movie. I buy it on physical media. If the movie comes out on DVD, I'm grabbing it because,
awesome.
Because that's how we show support. It's doing this, but also it's like you got to help these guys and buy it and or rent it, whatever the case may be, because that's how you're able to do more. So can't throw that out 100%. There enough.
And it's funny you said what you did. LaMonica actually said that when we were at a press thing.
Yeah,
he was asked, what do you want people to come away from this movie? What do you want that reaction to be? And he said what you just said, which is the best compliment ever. Hey, let's watch it again.
Yes.
Start it over.
Listen,
I'm probably too exhausted, but I'm going to do it again.
They limit your views on the screener, but I think I have 4 more views. Trust me, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to try to watch it tonight before I fall asleep, before I have to go back.
Nice.
Because listen, LaMonica Garrett, let's show him one more time. He's badass. He's definitely worthy of headlining action films. Like I said, Denzel Washington and the late great Steve James. If you combine the two, and then of course you got Daniel Bernhardt, and you just got a motley crew of badasses in this movie. It is balls to the wall an hour and 50 minutes, I think, of just total ass kicking, bullets, explosions, RPGs, tanks, everything. I mean, you get it all with this movie. So with that, William, what would you like people to get out of this movie besides watching it again?
I would like them to go that I just had the best time. I got taken on a ride, and the best ride of the summer, and I'm going to tell everyone to go watch it. And
can I just say that this teaser poster was badass? Like when they released this teaser poster?
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I was sold when it was first called Nightingale, because that was the original title, correct?
Yeah.
And I can see why they changed. I like Man of War.
I got to come up with Man of War. We had pushback on Nightingale because there's also a giant Hollywood movie with the Fanning sisters coming out called Nightingale, and they also said, you know, it really reads like a drama. And so I said, well, hey, I'm a huge Man on Fire fan. Why can't I do Man of War? And no, they backed us, and it was great. The guys at Wellgo are just phenomenal.
Oh, they're so good to me. Like I've been working with them for a long time, and like I said, when I knew Wellgo USA picked it up, I was like, "You're in good company." And I can see why Nightingale, like, because again, like if you call it an action movie Nightingale, it might be misleading to a point. And there's a reason why you called it Nightingale. I'll just say that. I won't spoil anything, but it's called Nightingale for a reason. But Man of War, that's a more punch you in the face, balls out title. And
then we made a good call. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. All right, so it comes out July 3rd, this Friday. So again, pre-order it now. It's live. It's on anywhere you buy your movies, Fandango at Home, Apple, Amazon, anywhere that you buy your movies. Support independent action cinema. That way, this guy, Jesse V. Johnson, J.J. Perry, he's another one I'd call Action Maestro. So again, your guys are like a select group of guys that
you're putting me in really good company. I appreciate that.
Listen, you deserve to be in really good company because you are an action maestro, my friend. All right, so with that, big week coming up for you. I can't wait. I'm sure I'm going to talk to you again for whatever comes down the pipeline. Oh, one more question. Sorry, I forgot to ask you this one. All these years later, Sinners and Saints, looking back at that little movie that you did with Johnny Strong. Again, I got to talk to him a little while ago for Warhorse 1, which is pretty cool. Like how do you look at that movie today as opposed to back? Because that's, when of course you did The Prodigy, which I remember when I rented The Prodigy. I went to Blockbuster Video and I was like, what is this? And that's how I got to know who you were, because you're like, William Kaufman. Yeah. So talk about Sinners and Saints just real quick and the lineage of that movie and how, because I still get people talking about it today to me. Of course.
I mean, that movie changed the course of my career.
Yep.
That's really where Prodigy got me, that movie, but Sinners and Saints got me everything after that. And I love that movie. That was the first film I shot here in New Orleans, and has a very special place in my heart. I think I would go to that screening anytime I got an opportunity.
Absolutely. And I'm going to bring this up. I know you, but I remember when they teased like a sequel to this movie, and they had said that certain people were going to be I was so devastated when that didn't happen. I was just like,
I was too, John. We were supposed to do that with Scott, and
Scott Adkins. I know. I was like, this is like, I remember when they showed the picture, and I was just like, this is like Christmas come early. But then again, it never happened. And then I remember I was talking to you in an interview, and you were like, not going to happen. I was like,
no, yeah, I was guaranteed it was going to happen, which is why we went public on it. And that team, it didn't work out, and now it's we're doing different things.
Well, no, totally get it. Like what you've done since then. Like I said, I am your biggest fan. I mean, I'm sure your family's your biggest fan, but I'm your biggest fan that's not related to you, because like Jarhead 3, The Siege, the Marine 4, Moving Target, like all these, like, a William Kaufman movie because it just rolls from the beginning to the end. There's no stopping you. It's like okay, I guess if we're going to take a break and have some dialogue, here's where it would be. But then, right back to like people shooting machine guns and stuff like that. So can you tell how excited I am? Because this movie kicks so much ass. So
I cannot wait for this to come out.
Yes. And like I said, like this poster too, that's a badass poster. I mean, that's a badass poster. I mean,
that's going on my wall very soon.
Listen, I'm gonna hey, if I could find it on Amazon, I'm totally buying. I would buy both of these actually, because that's kind of like Man on Fire. That's kind of like a Man on Fire tinge to it. Was that what you guys were going for? Will you say?
I wasn't involved in that at all.
Yes. Well, listen, they did a good job.
I was involved in the one that became the key art.
Oh, so you were involved in this one?
Yeah, that one I was very personally involved with. The other one I didn't see almost until I came out.
Ah, okay. Well, hey,
but it's cool.
They're both, like I said. All right, so July 3rd, this Friday, it's called Man of War. William Kaufman. Don't hang up after I stop recording because I just want to talk to you real quick off camera. But listen, if you do not know who this man is sitting next to me, you need to check out his filmography. There is so much kick-ass entertainment. And like I said, tactical action, realistic, balls out. I can't say that word that enough either, because it's just that's why we watch action movies. It's like people get it and people don't get it. You, sir, are one of the ones that definitely get it, and you surround yourself with good people and continued success, my friend.
We make these movies for people just like you.
Yes.
For the people who are ACTION-FLIX.com, followers, friends. We made this movie for you. And if you want to see more of what we do, you want to pre-order the movie, go to irishchannelstudios.com. And maybe you can help me get that up there. But irishchannelstudios.com. And that has all the direct links for rental, purchase, and the pre-order now for Man of War. That's got, all my faves in there.
I put that on I think the first the article I did for it, but I'll put it in my review, and also in for this interview too. I will definitely put that in there too, so everybody knows about it and checks it out. All right, everybody. So William Kaufman, he's off to LA. I wish I was off to LA. I'm just going to work tomorrow, my boring ass job. But that's besides the point. But I feel like Batman. Like during the day at work, I'm like Clark Kent, and then I'm Superman at night because I'm talking to like legends like yourselves. It's like so. Continued success. Like I said, don't hang up because I just want to talk to you real quick off camera. But this is John with the Action Fix with John Jerva signing off with Filmmaker, Action Maestro. Again, I've dubbed him the Action Maestro. He's in a select group of action filmmakers that just totally get it and know what to deliver and deliver every single time. William, continued success. And as I always say, be nice until it's time to not be nice. Take care, everybody.
Fastest way between 2 points is a straight line. Let's go.
Russia overnight launched its long-anticipated attack on Ukraine.
I've jammed the door. Mike, I'm in trouble. We need your help.
They stormed the orphanage.
His name is Stanislav Koniev. He's got quite a reputation.
I need a way into Kyiv, now. My niece. Me and her dad, we've been in the teams together since buds. She's all I got left. You find me a tour guide yet?
What's up, man? Come on, baby, get in. What's up, first time in Kyiv?
Yeah.
Take what you want.
We're headed to Kharkiv.
The battle lines run down the entire valley.
And I don't got a choice.
Let's go!
I'll do anything that needs to be done to get to Riley.
Anyone seen not in Ukrainian uniforms will be shot on sight. This is what's left. Simple people. Who are trying to live their lives, trying to survive.
War is a monster.
Then why you make it your life? All right, lights on me.
This is about to get ugly.